Hello and welcome to the final episode of an adventure in Infdev Plus. In this episode we are going to finish up this series by defeating the final boss of Infdev Plus. However, to do that we need to first do some preparations, prepare the portal to reach the fourth dimension in which the final boss resides. We need to prepare the gear we'll be using to fight the boss and also some other stuff. So we are going to start by preparing the portal, which is made using 12 portal blocks, which are crafted using 4 pieces of diamond, 4 pieces of obsidian, and 1 piece of dark matter, which means I need 12 dark matter. I've got more than enough. I need 48 diamonds, I've got more than enough for that, and 48 pieces of obsidian, which I don't have enough of. So I decided that I'm going to get some in the Crimson Dimension by using the Adamantine pickaxe, because the Adamantine pickaxe has a chance to double the amount of drops that you get from a natural block, and I believe obsidian is included in that. So I'm going to grab myself a haste potion here to make things faster, and also the freezer to turn the lava into obsidian. I'm gonna replace those later. Of course I could get the lava by going underground and getting in from some caves, but I decided that it would be more interesting if I got it from the Crimson Dimension. Specifically from the lava lake or lava ocean that is at the bottom. And now that the gas is dead, all I need to do is just climb down, place some temporary blocks, place down the freezer, generator, power the generator, and there we got some obsidian. Kind of too much effort for this, but I decided that it would be fun to do it like this. And there we go, got enough obsidian to make the portal blocks. So now just gonna return home. And with that, I can make myself the 12 portal blocks. Along with the quantum singularity, which is used to activate the portal. There we go. And now I just need to find a suitable place for the portal, since I want it to look good and not just have it somewhere in the open. After a bit of thinking, I have decided that the portal will be here in the lake next to the house, and it will be placed on a small platform made out of basalt and some scorched wood. However, to do that I'll need to clear these paths to make a sort of a proper path, and also this cobblestone of course, and probably gather some basalt and stuff. So get to do that and then start building the platform. So here is the sort of design that I came up with. It's somewhat simple, but I'd say it's good. And to access the portal you just walk down this path, up the stairs and jump in. I haven't yet activated it, I'll be activating it once we'll be going in the dimension. Anyway, this is now complete, so I'm going on to another thing that I want to do, which is to gather some ethereal sand in the astral dimension. I don't really need the ethereal sand to fight the boss, nor will I be using it to fight it. but it will be used once we get there. Some of you might be able to figure out why it will be useful, and those of you that don't will have to wait to see how I use it. So I decided to go ahead and prepare the gear that I'll be using to fight the boss, and here is the loadout that I came up with. We got quantum singulator to activate the portal, recovery compass to fight the boss, and as for the gear that I'll have equipped when entering the portal, there's the adamantine armor that I'll have equipped. Dynamic spectacles, since they create dynamic light that will scare away the stalkers, since stalkers are scared of light. Ancient shield, because if I remember correctly, the boss makes explosions. Quiver with some freezing arrows and some lightning arrows, with a regeneration to recover my health. As for the hook bar, I'll have the Sword of Michael as my main weapon. Sight of Bile, since I can quickly fire projectiles that fly in a straight line. Wand of Gabriel for movement. Basket as a ranged weapon since it's strong and fires in a straight line. The Devil's Glove for movement. Infdev should help with the stalkers that will be there. Fire resistance because the imps will create fire along with the boss. I want to protect myself. Some blocks to build with so I can get up the towers that are there to destroy the crystals, and a torch. Some torches to have a place before the fight so that I can scare away the stalkers. And I've also prepared some potions so that I will have higher chance of winning. You might have noticed that I also have other stuff aside from the things I'll have equipped. I've got golden carrots for food, which I'll be replacing the building blocks with the golden carrots once I finish destroying the crystals needed to awake the boss. And I'll also probably replace I'll probably use the bow to replace the Devil's Claw once I start fighting the boss actually. Anyway, that is the loadout. I'll give it some more thought to see if I can think of any more that I need that could be useful for fighting the boss. And if I can't, then I'll be going to fight the boss. And now it is time for me to fight the final boss. In the end, the only other thing that I decided to take aside from what I already prepared were some golden apples. Anyway, the preparations didn't take as long as I expected. I thought it would take longer, but now it's time to enter the void dimension. And here we are. First thing that I'm going to do now that I'm here is look at the way where I need to go, which is there, and I'm going to go slightly above, slightly higher, because I want to use the ethereal sand. The reason why I want to do it is to build a sort of runway that I'll use to boost myself to fly over to where the final boss is. I've already used it in the previous episodes, so one of the previous episodes, so you might know what I'm talking about. Specifically, it was in episode 5. Basically, the idea behind this is that I run on this trip and use the dash ability of the Sword of Michael so that I get a lot of speed, which will allow me to fly a long distance with the wings that I have. Like this. And now I just need to follow the compass, and I should get to the boss soon. And here we are. Accidentally landed a bit farther away. That's fine. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna do is place some torches. Those should help me during the fight. The reason why I place down those torches is because the stalkers don't like light, which means that it should make it less likely for them to annoy me during the fight. Anyway, now it is time for me to get rid of these crystals, which I'm gonna do by climbing up to that one, which seems to be the tallest. Although I should first destroy this crystal, so I'm gonna make a bit of a bridge so that I'm further away when I'm destroying it. That way I don't take damage, and now I'm just gonna take out all of the other crystals except for that one, since that one is slow, and I'm gonna destroy it once I'm ready for the fight. And with that, there is only one crystal left, so I'm gonna swap out my inventory to prepare for the fight. Almost one crystal, that is. And with this, I think I am ready for the fight. So I'm just gonna quickly drink the potions. Might not need the fire resistance though, but I'll still use it. Wet them out. And destroy the crystal. And summon some imps. Looks like there's one that I missed. There we go. And here we can see that the final boss summons some bombs of sorts when it reaches 50% health. And now that the final boss has reached about 20%, 25% health, I can't use ranged attacks anymore to fight it. I have to use melee attacks, and it also charges at me. Not sure why I fired it. Here you just saw the reason why I place all those torches. Just saw me get blinded by the stalker, which is kind of annoying during a fight. We're almost there. And there we go. Anyway, that was the final boss fight of Infdev Plus. I quite enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'll definitely recommend playing Infdev Plus and trying to fight the final boss. The boss fight ended up being easier than I expected, definitely due to all the operations that I've done. Anyway, now I will jump into the portal and let you watch the final credits, and after that I'll do some final things to finish up this series. So, I have returned from the fourth dimension. However, before I end this episode, I would like to unlock 2 more advancements. The first advancement is called Limitless Potential, and it requires me to use these void crystals to damage a hostile mob. So I'm just gonna go out here and find a tree or skeletons or something. There's one, so I just need to place down the crystal and get the advancement like that. The second advancement requires me to craft a beacon, for which I need to first craft a quantum singularity, which I then use to craft the beacon. And I'm going to use... I'm going to have this beacon have the stamina effect. The reason for that is because I still want to go from my house to the farm over there, because I still want to gather some resources. So I'm gonna do that and then end of this episode. As some of you might have guessed, the resource that I'm gathering is gunpowder to craft some TNT so I can give this series an explosive finale. Of course, I'm doing this on a copy of my world, that way I don't lose anything. Anyway, that would be a good time to give some final thoughts on Infdev Plus and give you some review. However, I'm not very good at this, so all I'm going to say is that I had fun playing it Infdev Plus. I'd say it's a cool mod that I would definitely recommend trying, even despite the fact that it has some flaws. That's it for that. Now I'd like to talk about some future plans. I already had some prepared. First thing that I would like to do is to release a video for the 2nd anniversary of my main Infdev Plus series, which is on 11th of August, because on the same date I released the first episode of that series. After that I plan to start an Infdev Plus series, which should be longer than this series. And the first thing is that I plan to continue working on my classic city, which I've been building on streams. I'll also be building sort of off camera. So I believe I've said everything that I wanted to say, and now I shall finish things off with one last ceremonial shot. So I do hope that you enjoyed this series, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.